Hi.
Okay, welcome to my podcast. I have me with me. Say hello to Mr. Sigmar and Mr. Whiskey Nation.
Whiskey.
Sigmar.
Hello.
We've done earlier the 75mm GMC review. So thank you for Mr. Sigmar for that. And we're gonna be talking about everything and anything in this podcast. So let's start off with the game modes of the Art of not the Art of Warfare. Sorry, War Thunder Division. I mean War Thunder game. The game. All right.
That was so much mess ups. Like everything that could go wrong just went wrong.
Oh yeah, yeah. So arcade battles. What can you say about it? Arcade battles.
They're good for
Um,
new people.
yeah, although low tier is like there's a lot of new people who don't really know how to play the game, and yeah, it's kind of chaos when you first start out, but after a while it's really fun.
Yeah, today is January 15 on my time. And if you're going on arcade battles, everyone's going on Japanese.
Oh yeah. It's because of Japanese tanks.
But the horror is really is that what's this OP, but its reloading rate is somehow same, just half of the KV2, the reloading rate.
Wait, the first tank destroyer?
Yeah, first tank destroyer that is 150mm howitzer, but its
Wow.
penetration is 61, 52 at 50 and 53 at the distances of 100, 500, and 1000 meters.
Yeah. Well, what I don't like about Japanese Tier 1 tanks, or the very first ones, is they can't pen a T-34 anywhere. Trust me, I tried 100 times. That's the only one that I know that can. Although I only do have up to the, I think it's a Chani, or let me check real quick.
I haven't really played Japanese tanks because
The Chiha.
armor wise.
No, it's the last, the Kami.
The Kami, it's look like a amphibious tank, but it's not.
Actually, it looks, like it ate too much cake.
Ate too much.
That is very squat. Yes.
I ate too much cake, so I'm buff.
Nah, just completely fat.
But
Not
it
big
has a
bone.
propeller. If you look at it,
I've
it has
never
propeller.
actually played it before.
Yeah, it can't float because it doesn't have its pontoons on. I think that's what they're called.
So it is amphibious.
Only if it has the pontoons on, but War Thunder doesn't like it them because it's already fat enough.
Okay, I'm gonna test drive this tank.
I can't test drive it.
You haven't researched it?
I don't have the key knee.
Okay, so
That's
we're
because I
done.
don't normally do Japanese tanks, so.
Yeah, I'm finished test driving it, and when I move it forward, it doesn't move the propellers also. So
Yeah, no.
propellers are just designed.
Yeah, well, you have to kind of get into the water for any propellers and War Thunder to work. Although, don't try with this because it will not work.
I'm just looking at it, and it's not really good at armor, flat surfaces and stuff.
You know what's bad when the anti-aircraft gun is better than the actual tanks.
Okay, so we are done with the arcade battles and some of the Japanese intros. So realistic battles is for people who are not don't want arcade anymore, and strategy wise, it's realistic for you.
That's what we mostly play because it's harder than arcade, although not like simulator. It's somewhere between.
Yeah, simulator are for hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah, mind a few people hearing this one. We're mostly realistic players, so we're kind of biased with realistic. And if those for simulator battles, really really that we look up high to you people because you're good at simulator, but we don't want to discriminate any arcade players as well because you're noobs or newbies. It's what I should say, people. And
Oh, hold on, wait. We aren't biased towards realistic. It's because we're always right.
but
Well,
as I was saying that arcade players, yeah, you're good at your stuff, and we don't want to really discriminate or criticize any people.
well, just because they play arcade doesn't mean they're any good at arcade, though.
Yeah, the only thing about arcade is that people can really see you. You don't really have to. You really cannot sneak up.
Arcade is more like high school. You're still learning how to do everything. Realistic is more like your first job. You know what you're
Um,
doing, but you're
no,
still
this
learning.
this is how it is. Arcade is elementary school where you learn the basics. Realistic is middle school where it's like you know the basics, yeah, you're still learning how to cope with stuff like stall or not stalling, but just know where to shoot. And simulator is like high school where you know everything, yet you just don't care anymore. That's it.
Yeah.
I just love how after I talk, there's like a pause because you guys probably don't get what I'm even saying.
Well, I'm just looking at this M22, and it's really that small compared to the M3A1 Stuart.
Oh, the M22?
Yeah, the M22.
That's because the
The
M22
Locust.
was actually an airborne tank. It would fly in with the airborne divisions and it would be supporting them. So that's why they had it smallest because it needed to fit in those gliders so they could glide it in, get it out, support the airborne troops till the actual big tanks
So,
arrive.
are you saying that it is the first tank to fly?
No. The Russians probably did that, or I'm not even sure which country.
Well, the M22
BT-5.
was never really meant to go up against tanks. It was an
Yeah.
anti-infantry gun. Run and shoot.
Yeah, none of the tanks were really anti-tank except the tank destroyers, because they never expected to go like, all right, we're gonna go to this town. There's gonna be tanks, because by the time we joined, German army, they were lacking supplies, lacking fuel, and stuff, because we kept bombing their supplies, which ended up making their Panzer divisions low. So we never expected to see as much tanks as we did. It
But
was
on
mostly.
the battlefield, if you see a tank, you better run.
No, they would call in, like, depending on what it is. If it was Tiger, it was a high priority to destroy that, so they would most likely call in, like, P-47s.
And there are also, by the army, they also have anti-tank RPGs. So, yeah.
Yeah, but, problem with that is you mostly have to get close, so hate to be those guys.
Yeah, for Russia, their anti-tank RPGs are vodka battles. Yeah, it's a game reference, everyone. You don't want to criticize.
Why is my window open? Hold on, I'll be back.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. We just talked about earlier the 75 millimeter. Um, the next predecessor of that is successor is the M10 GMC, which is good at sniping. It has good accuracy, right?
That actually does. I do like the 3-inch gun motor carriage a lot better. It can take a lot more hits too. And it's just one of those ones that you either love it or you hate it. Kind of like the M3 Lee. Either you love it or you hate it.
If you use the M3 Lee, right? If you use it right, the M3 Lee, you can even make a custom commands on it that you have to switch for the 37mm, and you can change from 75mm. Depends on how you use it.
Well, if you use the M3 Lee with custom buttons, like you just said, that is one of the best tanks, in my opinion, from, well, tier 1 and tier 2 almost.
Yeah,
Especially with the Americans, it is one of the best, and it can go up against 3.7, even though it's only 2.7.
yeah, I agree with that because for my opinion, it has the fastest reload in game when you use the guns separately. You use the 37mm, shoot at an enemy, then go for the 75mm, shoot for an enemy, and go back to the 37mm and shoot it. That's how fast it is on reloading.
Yeah, I mean, it's not very fast when it's moving. It's very much a slow whale.
Well,
But
slow whale. Talking
it
about the
doesn't
slow
really
whale,
need to.
we have Mrs. Matilda, slowest whale in town. For the Battle 2 rating, Mrs. Matilda is the one of the slowest.
Which Matilda are you talking about?
Matilda, the British Matilda Mark II.
Matilda Mark II?
Yeah.
Oh, that is a gorgeous tank. Don't make fun of the Matilda.
I'm so sorry,
Yeah.
Mrs. Matilda.
Oh, hold on, wait. This is why it's so ugly. It's beautiful.
Well, it's not so ugly. It's actually quite a nice design, or I think it is anyway. And that may go very slow, but it doesn't really need to go that fast.
I just love how on the front there's like a rear view mirror. But yeah, it was used from 39 through 45. Like right after World War II, they dumped it. Have you noticed that?
Well, yeah, well, they dumped a lot of tanks after World War II because, well, with the technology that they were coming up
Obsolete.
with during about 1943, 44, even 45 sort of thing, most of the tanks were obsolete.
Eh, it went 60 miles per hour, 26 kilometers, which, yeah, it's good for if you want to have the troops keep up with it. But I mean, like, come on, that's pretty much very slow.
Well, the Matilda would have been brilliant for jungle warfare
Yeah, but were we fighting in jungle?
in a lot of places like the Philippines, Papua New Guinea. We were,
Fine.
yeah.
But we used it in desert.
Yeah, well, maybe they used the Matilda on the Amazon.
When
I
did we
wouldn't be
ever go?
surprised there.
When did we ever go to war with I don't know what countries Amazon is in.
Amazon River, the Amazon
Yeah,
forest.
oh yeah, it was in Pacific Theater. The Soviets used it.
Come on, Whiskey, you're American.
Huh?
You have the most knowledge on the geographic locations on the U.S.
I know more about World War II than I even know about the US. But yeah, the Matilda was used in Pacific Theater. The Soviets used them. Like, the Red Army actually received 918 out of all the 1,084 Matildas that were sent. So, something possibly happened while on the way. But yeah, the Soviet crews actually complained about skirt panels on site because it was clogging the suspensions, apparently. But the Germans also captured some Matildas and was actually put in service. They were called Panzerkampfwagons Mark II 748E.
Is it on the actual War Thunder Trek 3?
No, I'm just reading this off wiki right now.
So hello, Gaijin. Please include Matilda from the Germany. Thank you.
You guys have the Churchill. Come on.
Yeah, Churchill.
Matter of fact, the Churchill, I heard that's a really tough tank, right?
It can be. It depends on which
Depend.
Churchill, the Mark III or the Mark VII. The
What's
Mark
the difference?
III is a 4.0. Its armament was basically, well, its hull armor was 897650. Turret was 897676. The Churchill, on the other hand, Mark 7, hull was 1529551 and turret was 1529595.
Now you see, this tank was actually from 1941 through 1952. This tank lasted longer than Matilda. That should tell you something.
Not really. It's just a lot heavier. It's a heavy tank. Whereas the
Oh,
Matilda, it's classified as a heavy tank, but it's more of a medium heavy tank.
hey, did you know that the the Chaffee, the Stewart, and the M4 is still being used today? Like, there's a country that has them as their main battle tanks, which is kind of sad, but I mean, like, at least you still see those in service. What British tanks do you see in service from World War II?
We still have the jeepneys, which is used for transportation in the Philippines.
Which one?
Military jeepneys.
Oh, what?
We use military jeepneys as a form of transportation here in the Philippines.
Jeepneys?
Military
Jeeps.
jeepney, jeeps.
Oh, okay.
You were
They're
confused.
actually classified as classics nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still use them.
First saying jeepneys, I'm like, wait, what?
Jeepneys.
But yeah, there's so much variance. As a matter of fact, I think one of the most common is the Churchill Crocodile, which was outfitted with a flamethrower.
Well,
That's
a lot of the Russian tanks weren't stock standard with their guns or anything like that. They were just basically using anything that was flying around.
hey,
Well, the most fun popular tanks is the T-34, which has a slope armor, good at disabling armor penetration rounds.
hey, I'm just curious. How much variance of the Churchill do you know exists?
Well, let's say there's a Churchill 3, Churchill 7, the Flame Churchill.
Crocodile?
I'm guessing there would be another 2 or 3 on top of that that I don't personally know about.
Okay, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
We're
11,
going fast.
12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17
Come on.
Churchills. There's 17 variants. Like, there's bridge layer Churchills, there's flame Churchills, there's an anti-tank Churchill, which you see in the game as the Mark III gun carrier. Or I forgot, it's I think it's right before the Churchill lines, but that's a type of Churchill.
The 3-inch gun carrier.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got the Churchill chassis.
Yeah.
The 3-inch gun carrier, yeah, it has a Churchill chassis.
Yeah, the first Churchill was equipped with a 40mm 2-pound gun and it carried 150 rounds.
Oh, not bad.
Yeah.
When it comes to British tree, you just got to use them right and don't head on with enemies.
Hold on. There was a Churchill Kangaroo, which it was a chairless Churchill converted into an armored personnel carrier. Which why not just yeah. Yeah, so there's a lot of Churchills. Sigma. Did you guys
Yeah.
have any tanks in the war?
Well, I'm not the expert on tanks, but I'm not sure. I don't think we actually did. I know we had a couple of planes. But
Yeah.
the only planes in War Thunder really are the Wearaway and the
The
Boomerangs, which
boomerangs.
were they're brilliant in War Thunder. They are actually
Yeah.
pretty damn good.
Yeah,
But
Sigmar
they
really
were
likes the boomerang.
mostly used for well, teaching. They were never really seen combat in actually World War II. They were more
Yeah,
for teaching.
yeah. Someone said to me that the boomerang was used as a training vehicle.
Yeah, basically it was. I think the Boomerang Mark II saw combat for about 2 minutes during World War II.
But can I
But
ask you something real quick? What
go ahead.
is up with you guys and boomerangs? Like, all your toys are boomerang. You guys had a villain called Captain Boomerang, apparently.
Yes, we did. That would be in about 1960. About 1950, 1960, I believe.
Yeah, but is that like your favorite thing, like the frisbee?
No.
No.
The boomerang is an iconic weapon that the Aboriginals used to hunt kangaroos
Yeah,
and
but the
emus.
Indians used them.
Wait, hold on. It was a weapon?
It was
Yeah,
a weapon.
just
Yeah.
like the yo-yo was originally a weapon.
Like, honestly, that's kind of hard to see anyone dying from like a yo-yo or boomerang.
Okay, just think about it this way. It was mostly a large, heavy stick. You threw it, and it didn't really come back. It's only, well, mostly toys come back now because of their aerodynamics. But most of the boomerangs, the original boomerangs, were very, very heavy. So if you've got something that weighs, say, about 10, 15 kilos aimed at
Can you
your
convert that
head,
into pounds, please? No? Okay.
hang on, just doing that now.
Alright.
Okay, if you've got 15 kilos, it's approximately 33 pounds.
Oh,
So if you've got something that heavy thrown at a distance of about 10 to 20 meters and it hits your head, it's going to hurt.
That's the boomerang. Well,
that's
yep. People really are really that good at throwing boomerangs, and they come back to their hands, so good.
And with the yo-yo, I think that was an Indian weapon, if I'm correct, originally. I'm not sure about that, don't quote me on that one. But there were variants where once it actually left your hand, and it was still on the string, blades shot out from the edge.
I would just love to see soldiers getting bored and starting to play with them. Because you know they had to make it toys somehow, like how they would know, hey, this is actually fun.
Yeah, but a lot of our toys nowadays were once weapons, like the boomerang, the yo-yo, the
Bow and
frisbee
arrow.
was a weapon.
Who gave kids these weapons and they had fun?
Well, originally the frisbee actually came along because they were throwing pie dishes. But before that, there was variants on frisbees long before that. That were actually weapons.
Yeah,
Like, I guess you could say the chakras of the Indians was a hollow frisbee.
Well, if you're
Well,
talking
not
about
chakra,
ninja,
sorry.
if you're talking about Japanese ninjas, they have shurikens that look like frisbees.
Well, there you go.
MisterJoy, like, I'm pretty sure that any parents seeing kids throwing sharp objects like a shuriken would kind of be alarmed. Where did they get their shuriken from?
Well, they can be made from plastics nowadays.
Yeah, but those don't really work as well. I mean, they can't stick into people. I mean, objects.
Well, ninjas really do use shurikens at that time. Well, they are mostly for training kids.
The
Yeah,
shurikens
definitely
were
don't.
for training kids? What sort of
What about
training are
your
you doing with kids, Joy?
Up, someone has a ringtone. Right, so Mr. Joy, what are you doing?
Yeah, we're doing
No, this is bad.
podcast. Come on, Whiskey.
Man, I'm War Thunder. Come on.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm not doing one other. I'm currently looking on the review that I will be making here and upload it later.
I'm lonely now.
No, you're not. You're still. We still have Mr. Sigma.
Is there anyone else?
Oh, thanks. Thanks.
Right, so let's see.
So
Mr.
yeah, for everyone who is hearing this podcast, if there anyone else wants to make a review, just go ahead and message me at my email, which is TAWMisterJoy@gmail.com, and thank you.
Preferably someone with more information than me, which isn't hard.
Well, it's not that hard. A lot of work, yes. Yeah, I guess we'll be seeing more of Sigmar on my reviews.
How about me?
You will? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, we can have also Whiskey Nation on the next video.
Yay!
You're excited like a kid, come on.
Yay!
Oh man.
You know, every time you say my name, that's what I'm going to do now on.
Hey!
Alright, so,
and Sigmar will be like, okay.
Alrighty then.
Sigmar, you just ruined everything.
Excellent. It's working.
Alright, so, but Mr. Joy, do you know the DB7?
The Dumb 7?
No, the DB7.
Yeah, it's called the Dumb 7 because it's for... Nah, never mind.
Yeah, DB7 actually stood for Douglas Bomber, I'm sure.
No, its name is Dive Bomber 7.
Are you sure? I thought it was Douglas.
But it's classified as a dive bomber, so Dive Bomber 7. Well, if you're asking me what is the name of the TBD, it's a torpedo bomber for a destroyer.
There's a DB7 for sale. That's
TBD.
Oh, it's an Aston Martin. Alright. It's a sports car. I'm like, oh, World War II plane. It's for sale. I gotta get it.
I'm pretty sure there are
Well,
places
if I'll be making the name for the SBD, it's a small bomber for dive.
I know that you can buy World War II tanks.
Oh, guys.
Yeah,
no,
you
we
can.
can't start.
You can. And we will be talking that next podcast that you can buy tanks for free. Just kidding.
You could buy my tank.
MisterJoy is putting one up for a competition.
Well, I think it's right that Arnold Schwarzenegger has a tank.
I would
Yeah,
just
he
like to see
actually
it.
allows people to pay him to run over things.
But I would love to see him in a freaking a tank just like go to the chopper. Like
Well,
there's just some random helicopter pilot that's like, wait, what?
Alright, for the next podcast, we'll be talking about tanks.
I'm looking up the DB7 right now, seeing why it was. I'm sure it was because it was made by Douglas and it was a bomber.
Okay, so let's wrap it up. So, Sigmar, any words for thought
No, not really.
or closing remarks?
No.
He doesn't want. So, Whiskey, any words of thought for closing remarks?
Yes,
Yes.
I am always correct.
Okay, could I have a closing remark?
Yeah.
He's never
please.
correct.
I have another closing remark real quick. Sigmar won't be in your next video because he'll disappear of
No.
mysterious circumstances.
Okay. So this has been January 15, 2017 podcast for anything and everything under the sun, and continue supporting Mr. Joy, and thank you everyone. See you on the next podcast.